Okay, so are you ready to dive into this Gen AI stuff?
Let's do it. I'm ready to separate the hype from reality.
Okay, so we've got excerpts from this Gen AI Productivity 2.pdf that you sent over, and it sounds like it's all about getting things done, which I am here for.
Yeah, it seems like it's about using AI to actually do stuff better and faster instead of just being a cool gadget.
Right. Less buzzwords, more results. So the first thing that caught my eye was this idea of prompting, like a pro, which is all about mastering those ChatGPT prompts. Have you experimented with that at all?
Definitely. And to be honest, at first, I was a little skeptical.
Yeah, I feel it.
It's like, okay, so I just need to be good at telling the AI what to do. That's not exactly groundbreaking, right?
Well, the source calls it the repeat and refine technique. So it's like you're constantly tweaking and reprompting to guide the AI towards what you actually want.
And that's where it gets interesting. It's not just about being specific. It's about understanding how the AI interprets your requests and learning to speak its language in a way.
So it's like learning the secret handshake to get the best results. I like that.
Exactly. It reminds me of this one time I was trying to get the AI to write something for me, and the first few attempts were way off. But then I restructured the prompt, added more context, and boom, it was like the AI finally understood what I was going for.
It's almost like you need to be a little bit of a mind reader, anticipating how the AI is going to interpret your words.
Right, like you're having a conversation with it, not just barking orders.
That makes total sense. It's about building that rapport, even if it's with a machine. So, okay, we've tackled prompting. What about all those meetings we're all constantly stuck in? This source also mentions using AI for transcription and analysis. They specifically talk about Google Sound Recorder and OpenAI's Whisper, but we've all seen those clunky transcriptions, right? Can AI actually help us make sense of all that meeting mayhem?
Okay, so I have a lot to say about this one. Meeting transcription is just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine if AI could not only transcribe, but also analyze the content of our meetings.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Go on.
Think about it. We're talking about identifying key takeaways, action items, even analyzing the overall sentiment of the meeting all automatically.
Hold on, sentiment analysis. So it could tell me if my team is actually on board with my ideas or just nodding politely.
Exactly. Instead of spending hours sifting through notes or re-listening to recordings, you could have the AI pinpoint the most important moments and even give you insights into the dynamics of the conversation.
Or that would be a game changer.
Right. It's like having an AI assistant take notes for you, but on a whole new level.
But before I get too excited, how reliable is this technology? I mean, can it really grasp the nuances of human conversation, especially in a business context?
Well, I'd say a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing, especially with new technology. AI is getting really good at understanding what we say, like transcribing accurately, but those subtle things we pick up on in a conversation, the tone, the unspoken cues, that's still pretty tricky for AI to fully grasp.
So you're saying it's not about blindly trusting the AI, but using it as a tool to get a quick read on the meeting and then diving deeper into the parts that matter most.
Exactly. Think of it as having a super efficient intern taking notes. You still need to review and provide guidance, but it takes a lot off your plate.
Makes sense. And speaking of taking things off our plate, let's talk task management. I mean, we all have those systems. I'm a big fan of the Eisenhower Matrix myself, and getting things done, that's a classic.
Solid systems, tried and true.
Exactly. But sometimes actually implementing them, it's almost like a task in itself, you know? So this source suggests using AI to streamline all that, to supercharge our workflows. What do you think? Can AI really make a difference there?
It can, but it's not about replacing those systems you mentioned. It's about making them work harder for you.
Okay, so less about reinventing the wheel and more about giving it a turbo boost.
Exactly. Imagine starting your day and your AI has already gone through your to-do list, prioritized everything based on deadlines, importance, even group them by context, like here's your work stuff, here are your personal errands, all neatly organized so you can jump right into the strategic thinking instead of getting bogged down in the weeds of organization.
Okay, now that's appealing. I don't know about you, but my brain feels like it's constantly at max capacity these days.
Yeah.
Anything that frees up some mental bandwidth is a win in my book. But enough about to-do lists. Let's talk about something a little more, shall we say, exciting. Writing. This source got me really fired up with this idea of using AI to enhance the writing process. They even lay out a 4-stage process, including this intriguing thing called the amanuensis technique. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. The amanuensis technique. Fascinating concept. Instead of staring at a blank page, you just start talking, right? Record your thoughts as they come. No judgment, no editing, just pure stream of consciousness. And then You feed all that rambling to an AI, and it magically transforms it into a structured outline with key arguments, supporting points, the whole shebang.
Hold on. So it's like having a brainstorming buddy who never gets bored or interrupts. Sign me up.
Right. The AI just listens, absorbs, and then helps you wrangle those ideas into a coherent structure.
I can see how that would be incredibly helpful, especially in those early stages of a project when everything's still swirling around in your head.
Exactly. It lets you bypass that inner critic, that voice that says, oh, that's a terrible idea, and just get those raw thoughts out there.
And this source goes even further, suggesting AI can help you write in different styles. Like, it could help me sound like a seasoned journalist for the New York Times if I wanted to.
Well, think about how AI learns. It devours massive amounts of data, right? So if you feed it enough articles from the New York Times, it starts to pick up on the patterns, the language, the tone. It's like having a writing coach who can help you refine your voice and adapt to different audiences.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But before we get too carried away with AI-powered prose, let's shift gears to one last area from this source that really caught my eye. It's about this thing called Google's Notebook LM, which they describe as a personalized teaching assistant. You upload your notes, and it helps you study. Now, this is where I get both intrigued and a little, wary. It feels like we're going beyond just productivity hacks here and stepping into the realm of how we learn. What are your thoughts on this? It's like we're crossing over from using AI to get things done faster to using AI to actually, learn and understand things, which is a whole other ballgame.
Yeah, it's both exciting and a little unnerving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having an AI that could analyze all your notes, figure out what you're good at, what you need to work on, and then create custom quizzes and study guides just for you. That's personalized learning on a whole new level.
That's kind of mind-blowing. But it also makes me wonder, where do we draw the line?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to be honest, I don't have all the answers. There's a danger in confusing information with knowledge. Just because an AI can summarize a complex topic or generate a list of key takeaways doesn't mean you've actually internalized that information.
So it's like you could ace a test because the AI gave you all the right answers, but then in the real world,
Exactly. You're left scratching your head. It's like the difference between reading a Wikipedia summary and actually, diving into a book, grappling with the ideas, making connections. That active engagement, that struggle, it's all part of the learning process.
so how do we make sure we're using these AI tools effectively, not just as a shortcut to bypass actual learning?
I think it's about being an active participant in the process. Don't just passively consume whatever the AI spits out. Question it, challenge its assumptions, use its insights as a springboard for your own exploration. Think of the AI as more of a research assistant than a substitute teacher.
So stay in the driver's seat, basically. Use the AI as a guide, not a crutch.
Exactly. And that requires a shift in mindset, right? We need to move away from seeing these AI tools as magical solutions and embrace them for what they are. Powerful tools that can amplify our abilities, but also require us to be more discerning, more engaged, and more critical than ever before.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around. This has been an amazing deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from writing emails to brainstorming ideas to even how we learn. And it feels like we've only scratched the surface of what's possible with AI.
We're just at the beginning of this journey, and it's an exciting but also a little daunting time. There are going to be bumps in the road for sure. But if we approach this with a sense of curiosity, a healthy dose of skepticism, and a willingness to adapt,
We can harness the power of AI to make our lives richer, more fulfilling, and ultimately more human.
I love that. It's not about replacing what makes us human. It's about using these tools to augment our abilities, to free up our time and mental energy so we can focus on what truly matters.
Connecting with others, pursuing our passions, and making our mark on the world. Well said.
It's been a pleasure diving into this with you.
Likewise. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Gen AI and productivity. Remember, the most powerful tool you have is your own judgment. As you integrate these technologies into your life and work, keep asking yourself, is this truly making me more productive, more creative, more human? Because sometimes the most productive thing you can do is simplify, not add more. Until next time.